The characters, events, and narratives depicted in this content are entirely fictional and created for entertainment and educational purposes only. Any resemblance to real persons, living or deceased, or actual events is purely coincidental. This content is not intended to depict real-life situations, provide factual information, or influence personal decisions. It is designed for creative storytelling, discussion, and learning. Shadows Beyond Spotlight, Chapter 1, The Spark of Something New. Sophia Rayne adjusted the angle of her camera, making sure the soft golden glow of her studio lights framed her perfectly. Her signature pastel background, a carefully curated mix of DIY projects, motivational posts, and softly twinkling fairy lights set the scene for her latest video. She smiled at the lens, took a deep breath, and pressed record. Hey loves, welcome back to Crafting Confidence. If you're new here, I'm Sophia, your DIY queen and self-love advocate, here to remind you that you can create the life you deserve one craft at a time. Her voice was warm, genuine, practiced. She has spent years perfecting her online camera presence, but today, something felt different. She had a buzzing excitement in her chest, a restlessness that had nothing to do with glue guns and glitter. In just a few hours, she will be heading to Los Angeles for the annual YouTube Creator Summit, an exclusive 3-day event where top influencers gather to network, collaborate, and discuss the future of digital content. Sophia had attended the previous year, but this time felt special. Her subscriber count has skyrocketed in the past 12 months, and brands were finally noticing her. She had sponsorship meetings lined up, potential collaborations in the works, and though she wouldn't admit it out loud, she was secretly hoping to meet someone who understood her world, maybe even someone special. Across the country, Eli Brooks was throwing his essentials into a suitcase, barely glancing at the checklist he had scribbled onto a crumpled notepad. Unlike Sophia, Eli wasn't one for meticulous planning. His channel, Techverse, was built on charisma and wit rather than structured content. He had a knack for making technology accessible, mixing humor with his reviews to keep his audience engaged. He wasn't the kind of guy who overthought things, at least that's what he told himself. Sliding his phone into his pocket, Eli took one last look around his studio apartment before heading out. This summit was going to be big for him. His audience had doubled in the last year, and with major tech companies scouting new influencer partnerships, he needed to make a lasting impression. And then there was the chance of meeting new people. He shook off the thought his love life had always been complicated, something he rarely addressed even with close friends. For now, he'd focused on work. First impressions. The summit venue was buzzing with energy. Creators from all over the world filled the grand hotels, conference rooms, lounges, and event halls. Panels on algorithm trends, sponsorship deals, and creative burnout was scattered throughout the schedule. The lobby, however, was where the real action happened. Deals, friendships, and collaborations were born in passing conversations over overpriced coffee. Sophia, dressed in a stylish yet effortless two-piece ensemble, strolled through the bustling crowd, her heart racing with anticipation. As much as she loved her community online, there was something exhilarating about being surrounded by people who truly understood the highs and lows of content creation. "Hey, I know you," a smooth, confident voice called out, stopping her in her tracks. She turned to see a tall, broad-shouldered man grinning at her. He was dressed casually in a fitted black tee and jeans, a laptop bag slung over his shoulder. His face was familiar, but it wasn't until he extended a hand that it clicked. "Eli Brooks," he said, "Techverse. I think we follow each other on Twitter." Sophia laughed, shaking his hand. "Oh my God, yes, you're the guy who made that video about the 5 gadgets you don't need but definitely want, right?" Eli smirked. "That's me, and you're Sophia Rayne, queen of craft and confidence. My little sister is obsessed with your channel. She made me sit through a video about turning mason jars into mood lamps." Sophia rolled her eyes playfully. Well, I hope you took notes. They fell into easy conversation, moving towards a nearby lounge area. What started as a casual chatter about content creation soon turned into a real connection. They swapped stories about their most embarrassing filming mishaps, their struggles with imposter syndrome, and the weirdest sponsorships offers they had ever received. By the time the first day of the summit ended, they had exchanged numbers and tentative plans to collaborate. What Sophia didn't realize was how quickly that collaboration would turn into something more personal. A partnership in the making. The next morning, they filmed their first video together, an unscripted, playful segment where Sophia attempted to build a PC under Eli's guidance. The results were hilarious, and their on-camera chemistry was undeniable. Their audiences loved it, demanding more collaborations. People are obsessed with us, Sophia said later that evening, scrolling through the flood of comments. Should we give them what they want? Eli grinned. I think we might be onto something. Their friendship deepened with every video, every late night brainstorming session, and every text exchange between editing marathons. There was something electric between them, something that made Sophia's heart race whenever Eli looked a certain way at her. And yet, even in those moments of excitement, there was a shadow in the back of her mind, a quiet doubt. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she knew that something about Eli felt guarded. But for now, she pushed that thought away. For now, she let herself believe that this, whatever this was the beginning of something beautiful. To be continued. If you're enjoying this story, hit the like button and stay tuned for part 2. Please share, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Peace, and I'm out.